Here the Cowboys, we head into the Labor Day weekend, what's always been the traditional kickoff to the fall campaign. We're past halftime in this one. But it looks like this is really tightening up. Right after the Democratic convention, Hillary got a big bounce. Trump couldn't stop saying dumb things, apparently, and now he has some new handlers. He's on message. She's just been AWOL with what some say may be some health issues or a need for rest or boning up for the debate, whatever. But he's been out there, she hasn't, and it's helping him.
Yeah, because he's actually, the one thing about campaigns is people want to see you out there working for their vote. They might not understand certain things about how campaigns work, but they say, boy, that guy's been out there working every day. Where's she? Now, she'll say, well, it was before Labor Day and all this other stuff. The traditional Labor Day jump-off was last Labor Day, 2015, not this Labor Day. That's when we actually started the campaign, and now we're getting into that intense period. We're down to two, unless you want to count, Jill Stein and Gary Johnson on the Libertarian and Green side. But the race is now settled into a race. And for all the stuff that he stepped in, his boots are still pretty clean because he's tied, and in some polls he's ahead. So.
And as we come to you today, not to interrupt you, but he is down meeting with the president of Mexico, presumably to discuss his plan to build the wall that Mexico will have to pay for. We'll see about that.
Well, the great thing is he's going to, last Friday, the president of Mexico says, I invite you both. He says, done, I'm on my way. So the picture and the optics can be a potential President Trump standing next to the president of Mexico. I think, now Vicente Fox, the former president of Mexico, he's all over the current president. Well, I didn't know this, but this morning I heard on the news, well, guess what? Vicente Fox and the current president are of different political parties. Well, no wonder Mr. Fox
who knew?
Doesn't like Mr. NATO. Well, yeah, who knew? So
I remember interviewing Vicente Fox not that long ago, maybe a year or two ago, and I asked him about the drug problem, and he said, the only reason there's a drug problem is because there's a drug market, and it's the U.S. And he basically says, don't blame our drug people for putting the product into Mexico and all the violence that goes associated with it, because he said if it wasn't a U.S. market, none of that would be there. So, and there may be some truth to that it's not all Mexico's fault, that maybe the U.S. has got to act on some things.
Sure, I mean, we're the customers, but this meeting could turn out to be, they shake hands, they agree to disagree on a few things, and we'll talk to you later when I'm president, and maybe we can figure out, because remember, Mexico's got their own border problem on their border down in Central America. You want to talk about a wall, they got a big wall, and they don't want all these Central Americans coming in. So maybe there's a way that everybody gets to work together, and who knows?
Well, there's also another issue for Trump, and that's been the economic issue, because a lot of companies like Carrier, for example, that Trump made during the campaign, are going to Mexico where the labor is cheaper, and I guess the trade parameters are different. And he has said that, okay, you want to take these jobs, you're going to pay a big price to get your air conditioners back in the U.S. in terms of tariffs. So maybe that's something else on the discussion.
Yeah, we deal with Mexico. We have a common border. We have economic relations with them. I think this is nothing but good for Trump. Think about it. He goes to Mexico City. He gives a speech tonight in prime time on immigration, his signature issue. Tomorrow he speaks with the American Legion, and then on Saturday he's going to go speak with a black church.
Well, there are a couple of things now, and I've been off for a couple of days and just talking with folks I hadn't seen in a while, different political persuasions, and to a man, to a woman, everybody's saying, what a hold-your-nose election. Hillary Clinton's approval rating now, or disapproval rating, is above 50%, it's just at 51%. And I'm not sitting next to one, but there are a number of people who really believe that Donald Trump is the southbound end of a northbound horse.
Yeah, well, the people that keep, especially Republicans, who are still whining, it's time to stop whining, okay? If you want to go out there and say, I'll vote for Hillary, go ahead. But don't expect to be welcomed back, for Christmas. So I think now's the time everybody's got to rally around the nominee, and that's what they should do. And there's ones that aren't, and I find it fascinating that some of these folks think, well, we'll just survive Hillary and move on. You don't survive Hillary Clinton.
Well, whether you survive her or not, there are a couple of Supreme Court justices that will be nominated under her watch, and then that's going to it's going to change the political landscape seriously to the left, you would presume.
Hey, I noticed one thing too. You notice most of the whiners, former Bushy officials. Every man jack of them, all former Bushies. Let me see. You're the guys that got us into this. You're the guys that messed this up. Thanks.
Well, it's a interesting, the dynamics are very interesting because you have that, what Patrick's referring to, and then you have the Democrats almost outraged that that Donald Trump is going after the black vote because that's always been our vote.
And they're scared because he doesn't have to peel off 50%. He's at 8 now. If he gets to 20, and plus the fact it's a longer term strategy. To me, it's a longer term governing strategy if he gets elected because he says, look, guys, you helped put me here. I ain't going to forget you. And if a Republican president can move the needle in inner city America a little bit, it changes the whole demographic, demographics is destiny BS argument.
But what could cancel that out is Gary Johnson. Like my dad, who's never voted for a Democrat as far as I know in his life, doesn't care for Trump. He says, I'm going to go for Gary Johnson. I'm not going to say, Dad, you're throwing your vote away, but there's no way mathematically Gary Johnson can win, but he can take some support away from Trump.
Yeah, he's going to peel away from a few people. But again, as we get closer, Gary might have already hit his high water mark. Because now he's talking about things. I mean, I know a woman online, she's a libertarian, big libertarian, and she's not going to vote for him. And she says she's not going to vote for him because he really isn't a libertarian. He's talking about issues, he wants gun control, he's talking about other issues in the economy and the Constitution. He's even losing libertarians.
Like a cafeteria libertarian.
Yeah, he's a cafeteria libertarian. He picks what he wants to. And let's face it, he's not a very compelling candidate.
And the final thing to watch for, and we'll be watching it in the next month, for the first debate, I believe, September 26th, is the debates. And will there be any more from Julian Assange and WikiLeaks?
Yes, Julian Assange, better known as the decider
the power
in this election. He's got other stuff. I think it's coming. I think it's going to come hard and heavy. And think about it. The drip, drip, drip every day. There's something new coming out. And some people say, well, it's not that bad. Yeah, it is, because you're going every day, there's more. And it's outrageous stuff, and some of it might be petty, but it sounds arrogant the way they treat people.
And when you say that the FBI found, 30,000 additional emails, that just questions to me the job that Comey and his people did in vetting her.
Well, they didn't look under the seat cushions in her old sofa in the State Department.
Right. It's a crazy world, but we're following it for you here on thelibertyplaybook.com. In the coming weeks, Patrick's going to be going out on the road doing some political work, and we'll be checking in with him. But we'll be following you the latest developments for you. And again, Hillary Clinton, is there a health crisis? I mean, she's been in the Hamptons. She likes to go to the Hamptons in the summertime with Bill, but this year you think maybe her calendar would preclude that unless she's got some health problems.
She's taking a lot of rest days, as we used to call them.
All right, two other things before we go. Trump's tax returns, he says he's not going to release them, or at least he's under audit, quote unquote. And what about his health records? He doesn't want to release those either. Is that a red flag to you?
No.
But is anything a red flag to you with Donald Trump?
Right now, no. Okay. I mean, I think because all the red flags are out there.
Because you love Donald Trump.
Yes. But they're all out there.
Yeah, they are.
All the bad stuff, I mean, pretty much is out there.
Yeah.
Okay, they nitpick here, they want to nitpick there.
Well, the New York Times now is going after his campaign manager's relationship with his wife.
But the New York Times they're shoveling more manure than they usually do. And again, it's a bunch of people hand-wringing about on the Upper West Side. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Too bad. I'm tired of these people that they think the people are too stupid. The people get to have a choice. It's not the choice of the New York Times or MSNBC or any of these other people. This is a choice that the American people get to make on their own.
And you get a sense, so many of these polls, they'll be polling in different directions, but the LA Times is a pretty reliable source. And when they put Trump up front now, you have to believe that if he isn't literally up front, he's just a couple of percentage points behind. So it's going to be close at least till the end of this month, September, and beyond.
Yep.
Brandon the Cowboy with you. Thanks for joining us here on thelibertyplaybook.com.